All right, we're going to call to order the Borough of Morrisville Borough Council meeting for Monday, December 20th, 2021. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Rivera. Mr. Bowers.
Here.
Ms. Long.
Here.
Mr. Parker.
Here.
Mr. Paul.
Here.
Mr. Robinson. Here. Mrs. Sherlock.
Here.
Mr. Yeager.
Here.
And our borough solicitor.
Yes, Scott Holbert on behalf of Flager and Associates.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you, Virginia. Just for the public's knowledge, after public comment, we're going to recess real quickly for a executive session for personnel, contract negotiation items, and an employee termination, and then possible litigation, office, code office items. All right, we have no announcements of presentations for this evening, so we're going to move on to public comment. Debbie Smith, 3 minutes. Say your name and address for the record, please. John's coming out.
Now, can you hear me? Okay. Debbie Smith, 221 West Maple. I'll just be brief. I just want to acknowledge Mike Yeager and Justin Bowers for your service to the borough. Your tenure is coming to an end this month, and I just want to thank you guys for everything that you have been working on through the last 4 years and you've managed to get done. We did some really good things when I was on council with you guys, and you managed to get some things that definitely benefited the borough. So I personally appreciate everything you did and your time. So I wish you both well after council and enjoy your freedom once you're off of council. And thank everyone for all your service that you do up there, and have a wonderful holiday. Thank you.
Thank you. Hassam Jalad.
Hi, Hassam Jalad, 45 Ridge Ave. Last meeting, I was here and I spoke on the current state of in the future of Morrisville, and simply asking the question of what kind of town do we want to be known for. I also suggested 5 steps we can do now that will not cost us anything, only requires our collective effort and dedicated time. I urge you to take the following. Establish a clear vision by Morrisville and for Morrisville. We need to be creative and come up with big ideas that inspire change. This will require leadership, courage, and taking initiative. Establish a qualified committee that seeks and invites other developers and investors to come up with different ideas for development within the town, such as issuing RFPs. Third, establish a study for making Morrisville stop on the New Jersey Transit Northeast Corridor line. This will open up opportunities to develop around such stop. This is in comparison with other towns along that line, such as Brunswick and Harrison. Just an FYI, I take the transit, New Jersey Transit, and it does pick up family members from Morrisville for whoever works in, so it's already functioning that way. It's just not for everybody. 4, revisit our zoning ordinance and bring it up to date in comparison to other towns, neighboring towns. For example, there is no impervious surfaces requirements. The chicken rooster ordinance, many outdated definitions, smoke shops ordinance. We keep reacting, and I think we need to be proactive. I do have some few examples of other towns for specifically smoke shops and chicken ordinance that we can easily study and implement. Finally, work together and to support our borough manager and the incoming council members. There's a lot at stake here. And I think the only way any of this can happen
A minute.
is to work together, both as a town, as a community. I'm happy to dedicate my time and to work with you on this. And I also know there are many highly qualified residents of all ages that are willing to contribute and be part of this change. Just let me know, and I'm happy to meet with any of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Want to look through them? Okay, Deborah Colgan.
What was that?
Who? Yes.
Hi, Debbie Colgan, 120 West Hendrickson Avenue. I want to make council and the public aware that the hearing for our lawsuit to save Williamson Park has been scheduled. The hearing will be Tuesday, February 1st, 2022 at 10 a.m. at the County Courthouse, 100 South Main Street, Doylestown. The judge will be Gary Gilmore. We're asking interested members of the public to attend the hearing. The order states that any proceedings relative to altering the purpose of the park are stayed pending the hearing. So you guys can't do anything on the park. I am here to request that council provide clarity on the action taken last month to expand the RDA redevelopment area. This is a big issue, and ensuring public understanding of what's going on is important. Regardless of where you stand on the Williams Park issue, your protection of proper public process is paramount. Without it, what you do doesn't make any sense, so don't be surprised if people perceive it as being cagey. With the last expansion of the boundaries in December 2019, notices were published and a public hearing was held with a presentation by the RDA. The purpose of the expansion, to target the stock and building, was presented. The public was allowed to ask questions and comment. At that meeting, Mike Yeager said, "This is not just a map." But this is in stark contrast to last month's action, which was presented as just a map. There was no clear explanation why the requirements of the Pennsylvania Urban Redevelopment Law, or the URL, do not pertain this time. There was no explanation as to why the park parcels were included. Clearly, the select Morrisville proposal is the impetus, but no one will say it out loud. When a resident asked if her house is included, she could not get a definitive answer from you. Also, at the 2019 public hearing, on the expanded RDA boundaries, Jeff Darweck of the RDA reviewed the requirements of the URL, explaining the 7 conditions that are used to determine properties blighted, and that only one of the conditions need to be evident. But it is important to note that at that meeting, he also stated, and I quote, "The act that requires that a majority of an area meet only one of the criteria to be declared a redevelopment area." So why are the rules different this time? Both actions were an expansion of the RDA redevelopment area boundaries and acceptance of an RDA report. The report that accompanied this recent expansion showed only a small portion of the area with supposed blight. Why does the majority of the area have to be proven to have conditions of blight? Why wasn't a copy of the resolution that you approved not in the RDA report? These are among the legitimate questions that deserve a clear response. Address the inconsistencies and provide a clear picture. Remember, the idea of commercial development of Williamson Park is a complete about-face of decades and decades of community input and planning. So, of course, we have questions. Thank you.
Thank you. You're the last person. Name and address for the record, and then you have 3 minutes.
Okay, nice. Deborah Shimoleski, 853 Highland Avenue in Morrisville, PA. Just a few things. I haven't been to the last few meetings, so I'm not sure if I missed a lot of things. But I just wanted to bring up I have a question. Every time I drive by a smoke shop and a new smoke shop is being built, I mean, now there's one being built, it might be finished now, right across the street from Smoke and Joe's near Cafe Antonio's. It's like, don't they see the big, one that they have right across the street? Then there's one further up the road on West Trenton Avenue that has smoke here, come in buy your stuff here and we'll cash checks and everything. That's like ridiculous. Then, so there's about, last time I think you saw was here, there might have been 9 shops. Now there's 14 shops. So is there anything they could do about a moratorium on letting these in? Because it's reminding me more like when I was a kid driving down in Bristol, it was very like all these porn shops all over. Well, Morrisville is like all these smoke shops all over. It's kind of gross. So anyway, I think I would like to know how we go about that and trying to clean up the town that way. Also, I like your Williamson Park stuff you were talking about, because I have a friend that lives right across the street, and we used to think that that was not able to be built on ever, open space. Find out, he said, you told me it was open space when I bought here. Well, apparently it's not. And he said, now they told me it's a done deal already. Well, I don't know. Is it a done deal that they're going to be putting in apartments? And even instead of apartments, I thought, why don't they make someone have skin in the game and put in condos instead of apartments that could just turn into apartments like the other apartments that are people think is Morrisville, but it's Falls Township and where people get killed all the time. They started out nice too, because I've lived here for about 60 years. Let's see that, and then I just wanted to say second
Minute.
whatever you said. Okay, I'm done. All right. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do a recess for executive session, and then we'll be back.
Twice in the grocery store. Take care away from each other. Yeah. They put an injunction in here. Yeah. Every year we would do that. What do you say? I was just like, they really say it's she said, once you're out, I like that. Even if they met, they I love Roosters. You could see everyone. States, Something that nobody's thought about. It had to be something that's. Because if it's just as retail. See what other people have done. See what you've done.
Earbuds in your ears, your phone, everything.
You got the restaurant. It's a bar. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, Bobby kind of went with this.
These kids don't know. They're down there like, oh, I need to park out. Where's that up? Let's go look at it. Figure it out. Look at it. They don't realize what the rest of that we do.
You don't do it once it's.
They-
You have to hear out of the
There you go. Hey, boys, we got one coming. So for the first 2 weeks, they had them.
We need to think of
He's right across the street.
because there are some people.
And you can change.
That's what my niece does, that's what my niece does, like. No, you're not. You're right. Okay, see, I know people. So there's
Smoke shops. everybody else. Because they could be like, zoning changes.
Okay, nobody left. How about that? Well, Jahan, he left. No, he's right there.
Okay, good, I'm gonna hang up now, thank you.
We took care of it with our,
Does anybody need to run downstairs real quickly or come back? Fire through it. All right, we're back from executive session at 8:14. So we're going to move on to item 5, which is approval of the minutes. And if everyone's okay, I'd like to group them all together.
I am okay.
I have a question though.
That's fine.
The 15th was really, it says unofficial on the page. Oh, I'm sorry.
so,
It's official. We vote on it, right?
well, for the 15th, that's the meeting where there was no quorum, so technically it was not an official meeting.
Right.
So that's probably why it says that. So for that one, I mean, you're publishing the minutes of what happened in the public comment, but it wasn't an official meeting, so.
But do we just have to add that word's my question, for the unofficial record?
No, you don't need to add that for the motion now. You're fine.
All right.
I mean, from a standpoint of approving the minutes, it's not an issue. No action was taken. That's only where it comes into an issue with regards to whether it was an official meeting or not. You're just approving minutes of, I mean, it's the equivalent of a work session or a hearing where you can approve minutes, so it's not a problem.
Then,
All right.
all right, I just.
What else? We're going to make the motion?
No, in block, yes, I'll say, yes, I make that motion.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the Borough Council regular meeting minutes of November 15th, 2021, November 17th, 2021, and 11/30/2021. Can we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, now discussion.
So I have a question. Why is there so much detail in these minutes?
The only detail that you're seeing at this time is the public comment because we're required to put that in there. Other than that, we have taken out much of the, frivolous items that are not required to be in there, and we've just had action items in here. So I don't know if you've noticed, they've been reduced greatly, but when we have meetings that we have a lot of the public, that's what we're dealing with.
The public I'm fine with, but even our discussion here, it seems to, instead of just saying, like the one item was when we were talking about the 11:30 budget meeting. And like every sentence, Ms. Lowell said November 29th, Ms. Judith said, November 30th, and it went back and forth. Why not just say discussion of dates?
We can certainly do that. It was something that I was going to poll everyone in the new year as to what would you like to see as a council as a whole. It seems as if every council is different. Some want the details, some do not. So in the new year, that's what I was going to do, poll everyone. We have reduced it, but not to the point where I'd like to see it reduced. I agree with you, but I'd like to get a consensus from everyone next year as to moving forward, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Parker?
Go ahead.
There's something I wanted to address that's in the November 30th meeting, but I didn't know whether you would like me to say that now or later.
Oh, discussing it. Go ahead.
Okay. This is in reference to the letter that Mr. Yeager handed to me that was written August 23rd in 2013, because there was discussion regarding how we were going to regionalize our police department. So it's just 2 paragraphs, but I'd like to read it to the public. This is to Mayor and Council. This is August 2013. At our meeting last Monday, an eminently qualified police professional presented us a bleak, if not ominous, future for the police department. He advised it would be difficult, if not impossible, to find a qualified person to hire as chief, and if that person were found, he or she would be unable to rescue the department from the internal decomposition that had taken place. Notwithstanding the internecine squabbling, there was evidence of an administration and attitude of benign neglect by elected officials from 2004 to 2009. Last year, I suggested by memo that we set an administrative director to manage the administrative function. My suggestion was ignored. We empowered the borough manager to hire a police director who was informed in writing by the mayor that she would not delegate to him any of her authority. Is the mayor aware of the precarious position she places herself in? Borough government and the residents of the borough. Most borough mayors are not trained, experienced, or qualified police professionals. State law places the mayor in control, but allows for a mayor to delegate authority, presumably to a professional. Should a serious or tragic event occur, the mayor and the borough would be exposed to costly litigation. We have no managerial control and little online supervision to insulate the taxpayers of the borough from serious economic issues. In addition, it may not take the criminal elements long from recognizing a weakened police force. Hiring 3 officers falls short of the requirement to exercise supervision over the force. By refusing to delegate authority, the mayor has reserved all authority to herself. Consequently, the mayor has accrued the consummate responsibility should be something untoward happen. Some of us who supported the director may effectively argue that we were prepared to provide adequate administrative and managerial processes, leaving only those opposed to bear the brunt of what comes next. Last Monday, I suggested we examine dissolving the department and contract for services. This pains as much as it pains me as much as it does you, but I dismiss as absurd the counter argument that we would lose our identity. Tell that to the taxpayer who would foot the bill in the event a huge monetary award was granted against us. I am also aware that we would be putting several people out of work. This is a very depressing thought. It is unkind, that is true, but it is less kind to risk the safety of the 9,000 residents and impose economic burden on taxpayers. These are disabling alternatives, but which less disabling. Lay off several workers or risk financial disaster and the attendant reduction of property values, which affect far more than several employees. Regretfully, I urge you to at least give serious consideration to this disturbing option. Please ignore the political fallout, which inevitably will occur, and think of the welfare of the town over political goodwill, or find us another way. So this was written by Mr. Cicero, and it was his opinion, and but it was turned into some sort of conspiracy that, you know, this is what we're going to do.
I was asked if it was ever looked at before,
no.
and I said it was looked at before.
I didn't say you called it conspiracy.
Okay, just making sure.
No, I'm just saying it went much further than people sitting on this dais is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So yes, was it something that he thought of? Yes. Was he a former police chief? Yes. Did he know what was happening? Yes. So that was why. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Nancy, I think you also have to go back and look at the 2011 bills from February, which show that there were people on council that were actually engaging with the attorney and put bills onto the residents that where they talked about regionalizing the police department. You're only giving them a snippet of information.
I was giving them the information at the time, and that was 2013. Thank you.
And this is 2011. So the thought of regionalizing was not new, and it was done way before
This is
2013.
not relevant to the motion in front of us, so let's move on. I mean, first of all, I can't fault any council for looking at any option to any problem. Nope. All right, so we have a motion and a second. We've had discussion. Anything else that's relevant to this motion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Move on to 6, Finance. 6A, a Treasurer's Report. We've all received that. 6B, a call for a motion to approve the bill list. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Mr. President, I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, sir.
First one is there's a bill for Leads Online tracking system for $1,800 and change. I'm just curious if you happen to know what that's for.
Leads online.
Leads Online tracking system.
Leads online. Online is something we've had for 8 years now. Every year it tracks pawning system,
Okay.
stolen items in and out, and it's something that you have to have by ordinance.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. One more question. I know we got the bills list kind of late and it was revised. There were some items that were on the first one that aren't on the second. Were they taken off? Are they not paid? For instance, I saw one for, I think, $3,400 for a speed sign, and it didn't appear on the revised list.
The revised list was because of the dates. We had realized that we had not incorporated everything that needed to be incorporated, so we did a revision to add. Nothing was taken off. Everything was just added. We wanted to make sure that you had both of them. There was a problem with the scan, so we wanted to make sure you had everything. So nothing was removed.
Okay.
It's a conglomeration of the two lists.
I think there may be some stuff missing then because I didn't see it on the second one. I went back to look on my iPad when I got here and it wasn't there because I was going to ask you about it before the meeting.
The one we got tonight, though, Justin, I see it on page 1. Halfway down, under general. Is that the same thing, the speed sign, solar speed?
Yes, it is. I stand corrected. Thank you, Nancy.
Sure.
Can you comment on that one? Solar speed sign?
I'm going to revert to the chief on that. The solar speed sign chief, I'm not sure where that went. Please? There was a solar speed sign that you had purchased and erected recently?
Down on South Pennsylvania Avenue.
And is that, we had two speed signs, correct? Do we now have three?
Now we have two. That's the second one that I bought.
Okay, did we have two a while back? All right,
We have one, we have two now down on South Pennsylvania Avenue. One was the real old one. The one that you're paying for now is the one that we purchased 3 months ago.
And then
Okay.
there's one on Bridge Street, correct?
Now,
No,
South Pennsylvania Avenue.
Oh, did it get moved? I thought there was one by Jules.
no, Jules has his own incorporated
okay,
into
maybe
his,
that's why.
into his
Okay.
sign.
There's one at Jules, there's one on North Pennsylvania Avenue, and then now there's two on South Pennsylvania Avenue.
And the one on North Pennsylvania Avenue is solar on the pole, correct?
Yeah,
At the 400 block. That's not the same.
6 or 7 years.
Yeah, okay.
One down at Jules has been there for about 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
One down there is the orange one that I can move, and the other one that we're just purchasing now is on the opposite side.
is that a permanent one or is that on a trailer too?
It's permanent.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Roll call, Virginia?
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Paul?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Yes. Mrs. Sherlock?
Yes,
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes. Motion passes. All right, moving on to report 7A, Mayor's report. The Mayor's not here. 7B, Police Chief's report.
I'd like to thank the guys that are leaving council. I didn't agree with most of the things you have done, but as a citizen, you guys have stepped up and done your duty. I appreciate that. I'd like to thank the mayor. I know you guys criticized him for not being involved, but we talk weekly, if not daily, and we talk about the report going back. Changing that how you guys do things, regionalizing, and never being able to find a leader that can take your department to where it belongs. Well, I want to say that you did, and the mayor was a big part of that, even though he wasn't sitting in that seat. But he was a big part of that, and I thank him for his leadership while we've worked together for the last 8 years. Only other thing we'll talk about is the crime rate. We're still down 16% for the year. Besides that, everything else is going fine. If everybody saw, we had a little pursuit today coming through town from Falls Township again. This is their third pursuit in the last 2 weeks coming through our town. I sent their police chief a copy of my directive on pursuits. I am going to be sitting down with him soon if they have to stop their pursuits coming through our town. They're very dangerous and they're not worth it. So just to let you know, I'm on that, and that's what I'll be dealing with in the near future.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Manager's report. Do you have anything to add?
Does anyone have any questions regarding the report?
The manager's report being Keystone.
Correct.
Why is it that they are not putting together a list of businesses that are being opened in town?
This was a request that I had just made, which we'll hopefully have for next month.
Okay. And their report doesn't seem to be inclusive. They seem to be putting just like a sentence, like for instance, there's some movement at some business. Why is there not more explanation as to what's going on?
I'm not used to much more explanation, but if council would like that, we can make that happen.
Well, on some businesses, they write long paragraphs, and then on others, they don't write anything. So I'm just wondering why they're not consistent.
Sure.
We'll look at it.
I think in the new year, we'll revisit all of these items. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Committee reports, I don't believe.
I have one regarding the library.
Okay.
John can actually speak to this more about the library roof and at what point we are at that. But going back to the raffle that we had, that the library, Friends of the Library had pursued. Just wanted to mention that the grand prize winner was Jean Wilcox, a long-term resident of Morrisville, and the winter print that was like a second prize was the Brooks family. So we're very appreciative of all those who purchased a ticket, raffle ticket, and thank also the Cunningham Hardware, who sold quite a few tickets there. They got involved, and we're happy to be a part of that. We don't have the figures at this time, but I think it was more than $1,000 that was raised for this effort to try to get the library building established as an historical site. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to action items. 8A, a call for a motion to adopt the 2021 tax levy ordinance subject to court approval. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Yes, I'm sorry to delay anything this evening, but I would like to mention something. I know we already passed the budget. This is really just solidifying what we've passed, but this is a memorandum that came from our former Borough Manager Scott Mitchell. This was based upon our review of the proposed 2021 budget. We would like us to consider the following: renewal of our contractual agreement with the municipal authority as proposed in 2018 to include a $150,000 increase. 2, implementation of an LST, which is a local service tax, effective January 1, 2021, $50 annual tax on any wage earned within the borough by both residents and non-residents earning more than $12,000 per year. Implementation of an earned income tax effective January 1, 2021 or 2022, 0.5% of wages and net profits levied on both residents and non-residents. Keystone collections at this time, I'm just briefing. At least 1,757 Morrisville Borough residents already pay the EIT in the amount of $297,000, but this revenue is lost to other jurisdictions. The preceding options should be implemented independently of and in addition to the $4 million increase proposed for the general fund in 2021, which will require court approval before the end of the calendar year. So I'm just mentioning it. I know I mentioned it before. The EIT has been very contentious, but it is something that, again, was not a new idea, and but none of those have been implemented in this year's budget. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none. Virginia, roll call, please.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Blount?
Yes.
Mr. Paul?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Sherlock?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
No. Motion passes. 8B, a call for a motion to adopt the 2022 fee schedule.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I have some questions. I saw in the fee schedule that the baseball fee is in there, and it's been reduced from what the 2021 fee was. So I also noticed in the November financials that baseball has not paid the borough the 2021 fee schedule. So where do we stand with them on all of this?
I have no idea why the baseball would have been reduced. I did not reduce that. So I would definitely need to look at that. I'm not sure. I'm actually appalled that I'm hearing this. When this was provided to me, those baseball numbers were already in there, and I was told that that was what was in place. So if that's not what was in place.
Well, in the budget, it's the reduced amount.
Oh, but.
And I do believe in the fee schedule unless I saw something different. So I'm not sure where we stand with them, but they still haven't paid 2021. The 2022 budget has them at the reduced rate. So what are we doing?
At this time, the fee schedule should only reflect an increase in all the fire inspection fees, along with the increases that the chief needed. Chief, could you please tell me what those increases were again? I know that went back and. Tow companies, thank you. Other than that, there were no other changes made.
Let me just verify, because I was looking at a couple things.
And the fee schedule will need to be revisited in the new year.
Okay.
I don't want it to go forward if it's.
We need this to be passed now so I can do billing regarding the fire inspections. So that's what I'm asking of council. We certainly do need all the other fees.
If there's a mistake in the.
Just looking at this in reference to the baseball issue, the fees that are in there are the same for rental of the fields as they have been in the past. Any separate agreement or memorandum of understanding any fees is covered by that memorandum of understanding, not the fee schedule.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, that's fine for me.
I would hope that everyone here would understand that we need to have something on the books, even if it's only a shorter period of time, and revisiting them to make them higher or lower. Probably not lower. Nothing ever gets lower, but I'm hoping that everybody will vote on it.
I'm okay with it. Just as long as, I understand now from the solicitor that the memorandum of understanding with Little League is what sets it, and the fee schedule is not the official fee charged them, so I'm fine with that. All right, any further discussion? Roll call, Virginia, please.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Lawler?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Sherman?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes. Motion passes. 8C, a call for a motion to approve payment in the amount of $11,672 to Capital Health as final payment per the EMS fund as of December 31st, 2021. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Mr. Parker, I have a comment.
Go ahead, sir.
Ms. Danko, have we received everything we need to be able to pay a final payment from the EMS service?
Yes,
And just to be brief for the next one for the firehouse, for the fire company as well?
correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Roll call, Virginia.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mr. Lawler?
Yes.
Mr. Paul?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherlock?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes. Motion passes. 8D, call for a motion to approve payment in the amount of $22,229 to Morrisville Fire Company as final payment per the fire fund as of December 31st, 2021. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Virginia, roll call, please.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mr. Lawler?
Yes.
Mr. Paul?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherlock?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes, motion passes. 8D, a call for a motion to approve a borough property tax refund, 251 West Philadelphia Avenue, because of fire damage confirmed by the Bucks County Board of Assessment and Catherine Shell, tax collector. The amount of the refund is $1,771.41, parcel number 24-010-002. $1,163.62, parcel number 24-010-003, $402.69, parcel 24-010-014, and then $205.10 to Mark R. Sutter, Jr. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. And hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Call for a motion to approve the contract for emergency medical/ambulance services with Capital Health, Inc.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and we have a motion and a second, discussion.
Mr. Parker, I have some comments, questions. Ms. Danko, is there any changes between our current contract and this one?
Yes, there is. I had negotiated a $15,000 value of rent for the building that they are utilizing at this time. So this contract reflects that for the year 2022.
Is this only a one-year contract?
It's a 3-year contract.
And that rent is $15,000 each year?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yes.
So are any services being reduced? Because I know that they are letting go of employees from the Capital Health, from the Morrisville building.
According to our contract, absolutely no services are being reduced.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. 8G, call for a motion to approve executing the 2 opioid litigation agreements concerning the participation in the upcoming opioid settlements being administered by the PA Attorney General.
So moved.
Second.
Your motion is second. Discussion? Want anything?
Yeah. So real quick, as I said, there's 2 settlement agreements going on here. What these are participation agreements. A lot of these opioid manufacturers and distributors have entered into bankruptcy. Through those bankruptcies, they've come to settlements. The 2 settlements at issue here today are the Janssen entities, one of the manufacturers. We know them in the United States as Johnson & Johnson. The other is the distributor companies. They're grouped. So these are not the only ones. There's more to come. Obviously, there's Purdue Pharma is the big one. There's a company from Germany, and there's a third one. I can't think of their name right now. So we're only dealing with 2 of the entities. And with regards to these settlements, I would say there's some of the smaller ones, actually. But Morrisville Borough right now is estimated to get $100,000. That's with full participation throughout Pennsylvania. So the way these settlement agreements are working is if municipalities don't agree to participate, the entire state loses money, and that can change the funding formula. But it's, like I said, it's going to be $100,000 is the estimate. That's $80,000 from the Janssen settlement, $20,000 from the distributors, and there's still more to come. No attorney's fees are supposed to come out of this money. Their attorney's fees through these settlements have been set off in their own pot, and the attorneys have to fight over them. The only other thing I will add is that our outside counsel is expecting some restrictions on these funds. We don't have those as of today, but we do have to decide to participate and let our outside counsel know before January 2nd. So that's why it's before you today. But their recommendation and our recommendation as well is to participate in these settlements because you're looking at years of litigation otherwise as your own entity and not a lot of return possible. So I'll entertain any other questions. If anyone has any questions.
So it's a wash.
No, it's
Lucky. No, I'm just saying, we still have attorney fees.
No.
They might not come out of here. So you're saying we
attorney-
don't have to pay your
No.
attorney fees?
No.
Oh, I thought it meant that we couldn't use that money for attorney fees.
No. It's the attorney
Okay.
fees that you'll be paying that are paid to the outside counsel do not come out of this. They have their own pot to deal with from all the people who entered there.
Oh, very good. Sorry. Thank you for the
But the only attorney
clarification.
fees we do pay is for your legal review of this, which is
Correct.
minimal.
Yeah. Whatever, I forget what was 25% or whatever that was negotiated originally. They now go into that, the Skigos Law Group goes into that pot to get their money out.
So any money that was not in our budget, so any monies that come from this litigation will be money not in the budget, so it'll be a windfall, so to speak.
So to speak, yes, but
It might have caveats.
it might have some caveats, but again, we don't know what those are again, but they tend to go to where people are expecting them to go, or places where Morrisville would obviously can use the money, so.
Law enforcement and so forth.
Exactly.
Law enforcement. It's not going to be carte blanche.
I understand, but it's money that is not in the budget, and it would be revenue that would be recognized next year.
Correct. I think they're expecting April 2022 to start the distributions. So,
Anyone else? And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. That's the end of the action items. We're moving on to 9, other business. 9A is the DCNR project grant discussion. Judith, do you want to?
Certainly. This was something that was applied for back in 2018. There's been extensions to the extensions. At this time, we do not have a match for that grant. It's a master site development plan. So it would be council's decision as to whether they would want to try to move forward with something of this nature. There's a $50,000 cash match that would be required for it, and we do not have the funds in our budget to accomplish that. So it would be up to council's pleasure to decide what they would like to do moving forward with this.
and I would just add, obviously you can discuss this, you would only need a motion if the intention was to seek the extension on the grant. If council chooses not to, we don't need a motion for that.
Okay.
If I may,
Good.
I don't think it's prudent to come up with 50 grand for another plan. I don't think we're short of plans. I think we're short of money.
Agreed.
I agree.
Mr. Parker, I have a comment.
Good, sir.
Back in 2018, when we started going after these grants, the idea was we would search for as many grants possible to match these matching funds.
Right.
Ideally, I would like to see this one continue on. However, we don't have the money. We don't have any matching funds, and it's already been extended once, and they weren't going to extend it again, I believe. So I'm sorry to see it go, having not having matching funds.
And if I remember right, it would be better for us to not seek an extension if we're not going to be able to go through with it, and it wouldn't affect us from applying in the future.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, so do we have a consensus to?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
And it's my understanding that they weren't going to give us an extension even if we vote on one.
even
Is that
if-
correct?
so-
Right.
Correct.
Okay. All right, 9B. Go ahead, Judith, you're on.
10B?
I would just like to give a giant thank you to Capitol Health. They sponsored our holiday decorations, what you see here, the wreaths, all the tree lighting, which we have on the tree, the lights, those were all donated. The decorations that you see downstairs in Borough Hall, that was all decorations that were included in the sponsorship from Capitol Health. So a giant thank you to them for donating $3,000 towards the borough's Christmas holiday decorations.
Very nice.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to 10, and I want to go first. So this is the last meeting. It's not the end of their official duties. That doesn't come till the end of the year. But it's their last meeting. I have worked with these gentlemen, Councilman Yeager and Councilman Bowers, since they came on 4 years ago. We didn't necessarily agree on everything, but I've said this to our prior president as well. We've agreed on a lot more than we've disagreed on.
Yep.
And I just want to wish you the best in the future. You've done something that a lot of people in town don't do, and that's step up and actually try to make a change in town, and you deserve a lot of credit for that. So thank you, and be well.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I'd like to add that although I haven't agreed with you guys a lot also, but you did add a sense of common sense to the dais that will be lacking. So I thank you guys for your input and for also keeping us on the straight and narrow as well.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd just like to add my thanks and tell both Mike and Justin that I've learned a lot from each of them, actually. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Bob.
My sentiments is,
I'd like to say, it's definitely it's a lot easier when you're sitting out in the audience and sitting up on the dais. And I really like to thank Mike and Justin. Again, didn't agree on everything. We've had battles and whatnot, but I think my time up there with you has definitely removed any doubt of mine that you do care about this borough and want to see it succeed. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart, guys. It's not easy up there, and I just, I want to thank you guys. You guys are all right.
Thank you.
Guys, I learned from both of you, so thank you.
I think he's saying you're cool.
I'm all right.
Thank you, everyone.
Anyone else?
Everybody.
Thank you, Justin and Mike.
Okay, we're going to move on to
The same with others. We always didn't agree, but I respect the fact that you have taken the position.
Thank you.
That's it.
I have an announcement.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Just for the general public, Morrisville Fire Company, Santa will be visiting Morrisville on Wednesday, 12/22 and Thursday, 12/23. On Wednesday, 12/22, between 5 and 8 p.m., Santa will visit the areas shaded in the map on the Morrisville Fire Company Facebook page. It appears to be the areas north of West Trenton Ave, or Trenton Ave, and south of, I believe that's Bridge Street. And then Thursday, 12/23, between 5 and 8, Santa will visit the blue shaded area on the map. That's the areas between Bridge Street and Trenton Avenue. You will not miss them. They usually are lights, sirens, and all kinds of action. So thank you to the fire company for doing this. They're all volunteers, and they spend a lot of time doing things like this and other things for the community, as well as putting out fires.
Mr. Bowers, when is the dog park fundraiser? Put him on the spot.
That one I don't have on hand. It's some users of the dog park are doing a fundraiser at, I believe, Levittown Lanes. Information is on the Friends of the Morrisville Dog Park Facebook page, and I believe it's January or February. So if you like the bowl and you want a good time, check out the Facebook page, and you can get in touch with the organizer and sign up.
Okay. Anyone else?
I too would just like to say thank you to everyone on council. It's been a fun year so far, and I greatly appreciate all of your working together as much as you possibly could. And I appreciate Justin and Mike for all of their input, and I look forward to working in the next year also. But thank you all.
Mr. Parker? Yes. If I can, I'd like to say thank you to Mayor Dave Ravella, who is leaving. I know that there's always controversy because he isn't here, which I know by borough code he doesn't have to be, but sometimes it's nice when they can be. But I would like to just add that the December 4th, when we had the Winterfest activities, what went on down here at the borough was really fantastic. The entire Ravella family presented a real fun night. Everybody had a great time. They had the tents, the lights, activities. And so I'd like to thank him for his service as well.
Okay.
I'd like to thank also Imagine Morrisville. They put on an event on a Sunday night. It wasn't very well advertised, but there were a lot of people there. It was a lot of fun. There was dancing, singing. There were door prizes given, not door prizes, but raffles given out. And it was really a very nice event. And I look forward to more of those events.
Anyone else? All right.
Is that the end of our thank you tour?
Yes. All right. Our favorite motion of the night.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn.
Yep.
Making it clear.
Yes. All right. Motion passes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yep.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays and Merry Christmas to everyone
Yeah,
in the
Merry
borough.
Christmas to everyone.